From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's highly anticipated edition of the Wow Report. I'm your host, Fenton Bailey, and I am thrilled to be here this week with James St. James, world's first celebutant, best-selling author, host of our podcast, Night Fever. And, of course, World of Wonders Chief Creative Officer, Tom Campbell.
I'm reporting from snowy New Hampshire, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
Nice, and you look like you've been just come from the North Pole with Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen.
Yeah, he says New Hampshire. But
right.
I'm making toys. I'm checking lists. Nice.
He's on my roof right now.
Just better that than up your chimney, James. Let's start at number 10 with the countdown. What made us go wow this week, Tom?
Number 10.
Heated Rivalry, new series on HBO, came from nowhere, has taken over the universe, and I think I'm scooping James St. James. I think
I didn't even know about this. What is it?
Oh, no, I was going to do it, but you beat me to it on the text chain about what, so I was like, oh my God.
We can do it together.
We can do it together like they do in Heated Rivalry.
Heated Rivalry is the most romantic, physically explicit gay drama on television today, maybe ever.
What?
It is, and it comes from Canada of all places. It's about two professional hockey players who are young and are kind of rivals. And you know how like they'll take two rivals in professional sports and pit them against each other and do all this publicity? Well, what happens in side glances, sort of the first episode is just over the first year, side glances, they look at each other, they tease each other, they end up in the same hotel using exercise bikes right next to each other in the middle of the night. They can't sleep, and then they end up in the shower. And
I've seen the gif of him sort of jerking a little something.
We're not there yet. Two of the most beautiful male behinds that have ever been seen. And I know there's been a lot of good butts, and we can make this a year-end thing. We can talk about FX and Mario Lopez.
Our top 10 butts of the year.
But we have a new standard. And the crazy thing about it, some people complain that it's like Cinemax. Gay Cinemax, I'm all for it, people. Remember old Cinemax movies that were kind of like soft porn?
I mean, I suppose in a way it's the new Queer as Folk, but here's the thing, it doesn't completely come from nowhere. It's based on a series of quite well best-selling books about this, and it's made by Crave, who are, of course, behind Canada's Drag Race. And normally, Canada's Drag Race is number one on Crave. Happy to cede that number one position to Heated Rivalry.
If we had more naked butts, Canada's Drag Race would be number one.
Exactly. No, it's a good pairing. It's a really good pairing of the two. And Tom, yes, it's so sort of boldly explicit, right? Because they use everything about hockey, like shooting pucks, and they just mine all that for sort of sexual vibology. It's James, honestly, it's
we often direct each other to see shows, and we usually ignore each other.
Yes,
I was just gonna say,
James, the fact that this did not come up first in your feed, and the only thing I'll say, there's two stars, Connor Story, who plays the Russian, and Hudson Williams, who plays the half Asian Canadian, and they are just delightful. The creator of the show is defending that we don't need to know their sexuality, but you know what? When you can kiss like that,
oh honey, they give it their all. The chemistry between them is so good. There's no sort of shyness or anything.
And you know, they're both in the closet, so it just brings me back to those illicit affairs that you used to have, and those glances where you would pick up someone's gaydar and then push yourself into a closet or something and do some makeout. The first episode's only been released. It's lots of time to catch up.
So there's only one episode so far,
There's
right?
two.
There's two.
There's two.
Oh, what?
You're missing a whole episode of, because you know it's like the chocolate chips in a chocolate chip cookie. There's plenty of.
Oh, I just watched the first one. I thought I'd done it. I had to go to confession afterwards. I had to confess my sins. I was in pure thought. The other part of it, and I say this with love, it's incredibly Canadian. You know, it's all those actors you don't know. You know, when you see a Hallmark movie or something, but at the center of these two guys, and the scenes and the chemistry. I know we're like little giddy girls, but we have not seen a lot of this in our lifetimes with all the romantic comedies and hot
Well, but it does sort of
movies.
seem like we are in a golden age where we've had red, white, and the royal blue or whatever. We've had strangers, whatever that. I mean, we are having had this nice little moment where the gays, despite what the Trump administration wants, we are in sort of a golden age of LGBTQ content.
But it's like, why don't they make more of it? It's almost like we've been in a desert. And James, this is a bona fide, massive, massive hit. And
pardon the pun, bona fide.
Well, in that case, I think we could probably do it every week, like we did with Succession and the book that you did every week for 6 months.
No, we can talk about it every week. But what I mean is, like, why aren't there more series?
One usually has to poke its head up and be noticed for there to be copies, and hopefully this is that one.
And then the rest of the time, people are like, "Oh, well, it's very niche. Gay doesn't translate. Blah blah blah. Political climate. All the reasons why not." And yet, every now and then, someone just makes the show that everybody wants to see.
But I think women would love the show because it is
they do.
It's a steamy romance.
Yes.
It's not like gay porn, even though there's men on men, but like it's romantic, it's beautiful, it's forbidden love, it's all the things that I think we all kind of like.
Well, Tom, the secret about gay programming is that everybody thinks it's only for the gays, but guess what? Straight women love it. It's not rocket science, but it is amazing how.
I'm going to go on and say, if you're a straight guy, and you've just had a finger up your butt, this is a movie that you will enjoy. I mean, it's a TV series, sorry.
And that's the pull quote for the episode.
There you go.
One finger up. One thumb and one finger up.
I'm going with a whole fist. James, number 9.
Number 9.
On Thanksgiving, I went and got a takeout turkey from Cantor's and sat home and rented movies and was just as happy as a clam. I watched One Battle After Another, which I talked about on the Monday show on Wow Report Live. And then I watched Bugonia, which I had absolutely no interest in seeing whatsoever, even though I love Yorgos Lanthimos movies. I love everything he does. But for some reason, I just didn't feel it for this time. But boy, was I pleasantly surprised. It stars Emma Stone as this sort of bad bitch boss lady of this like billion-dollar pesticide company, and she's kidnapped by these two incels, these creepy incels who live in a basement. Jesse Plemons is one of them. And the first half of the movie is like a play where she's tied up in the basement and they're sort of arguing back and forth with each other. And he's got this crazy conspiracy theory about her, which I'm not going to say anything else, but there's this crazy conspiracy theory. And so they're arguing back and forth. And then the second half turns into this crazy action, like one thing happens after another, and it's one twist after another, twist after twist after twist. And then the last 20 minutes are the most bonkers thing I have ever seen in movies ever. It is, Blake, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I saw it and I liked it. And I don't normally like weird. Yeah.
Okay, well, but weird is what happens. And when I tell you the knitwear onesies will blow your mind. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, because knitwear onesies, you guys. And then the last 5 minutes, there's a twist on the twist on the twist. And you're like, how do you even film this? How did Yorgos do this? And afterwards, I had to turn off the TV and just sit with my thoughts for like an hour and just say, that was just the most bonkers thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
She's been doing a lot of weird stuff lately. Remember the Safdie Brothers show?
Oh, yeah. And then she did, the other Yorgos Lanthimos movie last year, which she won the Oscar for, the
doll.
Things.
You said it's the most bonkers thing you've ever seen. Is it more bonkers than the Substance?
Well, it has that feeling. You know how the Substance at the very end just gets so out of control crazy? This is a level higher than that.
Well said. I have a question. It's award season. I will see this now based on your enthusiastic, no spoilers review, James. You're getting very, very good at this.
Thank you. I struggled because there's some big things to talk about.
And Blake's reaction to your enthusiasm also made me think I have to go see this. But what are the awards out of this? Who's getting Oscars or Oscar nominations?
Yorgos will definitely get nominated for Best Director, although he's probably going to lose to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. There's just no way around that one. And she'll get nominated, but she's, has 2 awards already. I don't think the Oscars are going to give her a third. Jesse Plemons will get nominated, but he's going to lose out to either Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another or Sean Penn.
All right, moving on. Number 8.
Number 8.
Hitler's back in the news. I guess he's not always very far from the news. Like, there's a new documentary out, which I haven't seen, and I guess will come here at some point, Hitler's DNA. Like, they snipped a bit off the couch in Hitler's bunker, and they've just done a DNA analysis to confirm, I guess this is a spoiler alert, that he had Kalman syndrome, which is an undescended testicle.
Did he also have a micropenis too? Do we know?
Micropenis too, that too.
Okay.
But what I wanted to talk about today was I watched over the weekend the documentary Reifenstahl. And of course, it's all about Leni Riefenstahl, who was Hitler's propagandist or favorite documentary filmmaker. She made Triumph of the Will, which was the Nuremberg rallies. And then she went on to make what was at the time the most expensive documentary ever made, which was the Olympia, the epic film of the 1936 Olympics. And at first, it's kind of slow, sort of PBS, like stately, like close up, zoom. When is it? But I gradually found myself drawn in because there is this clip from a 1976 German show called Talk Show. And it is exactly that. It's a talk show. And she is on it with another older lady, because at this point she looks like, she must be in her 60s by this point, and she looks a bit like Rose from the Golden Girls or Margaret Thatcher, just sort of benign old lady looks. And she is basically just being attacked for, what did you think you were doing? And it's interesting because she's very...
Never, ever, said anything bad. I mean, she never denounced it, did she?
She didn't. No, she said, look, everybody was under Hitler's spell. She was like, the whole world was following Hitler. Everyone went to Olympic Games. Everybody went to the rallies. No one knew what was going to happen. And she said, I was following orders. This wasn't a documentary. I was commissioned to make this film, and it was a commission. And it's sort of...
even in the 1970s, she still won't denounce what she did. It's
absolutely
crazy.
Right. And then from that point on, 2 things happened. One was that she was inundated with mail and phone calls, all of which she recorded, almost all of which were like, you did the right thing, good for you. It was very sort of chilling at how much support she actually,
MAGA, the MAGA of the 1970s.
Don't die, baby.
Also, then she's sort of fascinating because then she goes on to have a third career at the end of her life with all the underwater stuff. Did they do all that?
Well, we do a bit. They cover her going to Nuba in Africa, but there were a couple of things that were really
where she's doing the tribe.
The tribes people in Africa.
Yeah.
But there was a weird moment when she, on this talk show, they say to her that attack, because when Olympia, critics of the film Olympia said that, it could have only been made by someone at one with what was happening, who was sort of really into the whole thing. And she said, well, no, actually, she was like, nothing was staged, nothing was posed. It was all real. And the host, I think, said, well, would you have made a film about disabled people? And she was like, well, no, that wasn't what I was asked to do. And I mean, it sounds like I'm defending her, but it was really fascinating to be able to actually just see this person who isn't She denies that she knew about the concentration camps. She says all her Jewish friends had left Germany. And then there was this really fascinating incident where she was, after those 2 documentaries, she worked briefly covering Hitler's Polish campaign. And she actually asked to be let out of the job. But years later, it came up that not only it was sort of believed that she was just horrified by what she had seen, but years later, it's covered in this film, it seems that she might have actually been the reason why some of the things she saw happen. She was the trigger, because she was apparently filming in a square in Poland, and she said to the soldiers, "Oh, can you move these people out of the way?" And basically, rather than move them out of the way, the Germans, her fellow Germans, just shot them. And she apparently witnessed that. She denies it to the state, said she never did. But it was a really fascinating, that you got this sort of dimensional aspect to it. Do you know what I mean? And
you see what just a brilliant genius photographer she is. And what she did with the propaganda films is she knew what she was doing in the editing and the camera work and everything. Yeah. And so she is a genius at what she did, but she just, the way like, can you separate genius from the artist? And in this case,
wonder how what people go through to rationalize that they lived through something like that, and that they participated, maybe not fully knowingly, but participated nonetheless, and how they protect their ego or their mind or their sanity.
Yes, because there's no question she is complicit in a way she never confessed to or admitted. But
where would Hitler have been without the propaganda films? I mean, he still would have risen to power, but like, it was such a powerful tool.
I'm wondering if we can draw a parallel dotted line toward Brett Ratner, who is the director of the forthcoming Melania Trump documentary.
There you go.
See what his rationalization will be now.
I should have led with that, because I do think the modern parallels are fascinating. It's how people sort of talk themselves into it without even necessarily, maybe even consciously themselves knowing that that's what they're doing.
One of the things she said stuck out to me, which is like, she said, she didn't know about the Jewish concentration camps. All her Jewish friends had left by then. It's like, all your Jewish friends were kicked out of the country or fled for their lives. That should be a warning sign. That should be a trigger, Anyway.
Yes. Why were you so uncurious? That must have been a choice, Anyway, it's available to rent. I don't think in terms of Oscar predictions, it's going to win, but I just thought it's just fascinating archive of this person trying to reclaim it's just a fascinating portrait. And I think when documentaries are really, really good, they give you the rather than,
people don't wear white hats and black hats,
Exactly. We're going to take a quick break, but I just got to tell you, Canada is having a moment, whether it's heated rivalry or, of course, Drag Race Canada season
6.
I think so. And then, upcoming very soon, Slaycation Season 2, shot, of course, in Canada in the beautiful Rockies, with Alyssa Edwards, Miss Fierce Delicious, Nikki Dole, Siki Nutmeg Ganache, Tessa Testicle, and Xana in the Slaycation house. So that's coming to
holiday viewing. Perfect holiday viewing.
It really is. All right, Blake, have you got a question?
I do. In 2004, VH1 produced a pilot for a syndicated new Partridge Family show. Who was cast as Lori?
We'll have the answer right after the break here on the Wow Report.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
And welcome back to the Wow Report. I'm Fenton here with James and Tom and Blake.
Yes, and I asked, in 2004, VH1 produced a pilot for a syndicated The New Partridge Family, starring Suzanne Soule as Shirley, Leland Grant as Keith, French Stewart as Reuben Kincaid, who as Lori in their first television role.
I'm going to say Hilary Duff.
I kind of remember this. I feel like there was a reality casting thing for it. It was like finding people. So I think it was a young Emma Stone.
It was Emma Stone. It's her first IMDb credit. Yes.
Is it available to watch the pilot? I would love to see it. Why didn't it make it to syndication? Why didn't it?
Everything's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's probably on YouTube, but the pilot was the only episode ever produced. The episode ended with a teaser for next week's episode in which the children's estranged father, played by Danny Bottaducci, drops in for a surprise visit with his same-sex life partner. But it never aired. Yeah.
Fascinating stuff.
Number 7, Tom.
Number 7.
Hamnet.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
I feel like I am Jane St. James this week because I went to a 9 a.m. screening of it at the Grove. My friend Greg wanted to see it. So right before Thanksgiving, I went. It's 2 headlines. It's amazing. The performances are amazing. And I am so stupid about Hamlet. I just have to admit, I didn't do a lot of reading.
Well, all you need to know is the Taylor Swift song Ophelia that's out right now.
All right. Thank you for the crib notes. What's beguiling about it is, it's another retelling. But don't even get me started. I want to talk next week about
it's a Shakespeare in Love type thing where they are imagining, yes.
And I kind of knew that, but you don't know what's going on. It is the first 2 acts to me. The last act people love, they love because Jessie
Buckley, yeah,
plays Agnes Shakespeare, also known as, there's all these different names, and then Paul Mescal.
Oh, it's Shakespeare, so beautiful, so beautiful.
There had to be so much body odor and kind of like they were like dirty, muddy fingernails. Like everyone, like she's like a forest witch, and they're just always like rolling around and like medievally, timey, ugliness.
Those fabulous outfits, yes, that I really love.
And it's so sexy, and they have such chemistry. And Jessie Buckley is giving, I think, an Oscar-worthy performance.
Well, they say that she is, bar none, that she is the front runner, and that and everybody is saying that without a doubt that she's going to win.
Well, Shakespeare's always Oscar bait, right? Shakespeare in some shape or form.
Now, listen, my sister wouldn't see this movie with me because she said that Jessie has a flat face and she doesn't like looking at it.
The light and radiance that beams from her face.
Okay.
She comes from a wood witch, and she's of nature, and she gives birth in the woods at one point. But the whole movie starts off, it's always these epic like forest shots up into the trees and just so beautiful cinematography. And then it finds her like in the root of a giant tree, asleep and taking a nap and waking up. So she's like from the earth. And Hamnet, we find out, was commonly interchanged for the name Hamlet. And Hamnet is their son. And Shakespeare had a son named Hamnet,
right?
Away probably of the plague, because everyone knows so little about Shakespeare, which is why you can sort of do all these fantastical stories around it.
But apparently, Tom, this is a true story. He apparently, because I was saying to Jazz at Variety that Shakespeare had a son. I thought he was gay. I mean, even though he was married to Anne Hathaway. But apparently, Jazz says Shakespeare did have a son.
I think he did. They know so little. They filled in so much, and it's fine. They died of a certain era. And then the third act is how the play and the story come together. And people find that really engaging. And I just felt really stupid about Hamlet, but I still thought it was amazing. It's a movie that Greg didn't drag me to, but I felt like I was James and his sister and going to movies I knew nothing about and just showed up and was wonderfully surprised and drawn in. It's pretty darn sexy and really beautiful and really thoughtful. And the last act is actually beautiful and poetic and beautiful as well. So just saying, go see Hamnet. I saw it, and it's there's definitely going to be on the your Oscar ballot. Oscar night.
It's Chloe Zhao, right? Who directed it, right?
It was a woman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chloe's. Yeah. The Chinese billionaire daughter.
Yes, Chloe Zhao. Thank you.
All right, James, number 6.
Number 6.
I watched Paris is Burning on the Transgender Day of Remembrance this week. I hadn't seen it in about 25 years, and I was blown away anew by what a masterpiece it is, and how it's inspiring in this part, and it tugs at your heartstrings in this part, and it just pushes all the buttons that you need in a documentary. And I don't think that I got it at the time it came out. I didn't quite understand, and I thought about it for a long time, why I didn't understand, because I knew all those people. I knew Mother Angie Extravaganza, I knew Willie Ninja, I knew Paris Dupree, I knew those. I'd met Dorian Corey and Avis Pendavis and So, and they were all at the clubs and everything like that. So it sort of seems to me, and I understood what a cultural zeitgeist moment we were having when the voguing kids really started hitting big. But it's sort of like working at World of Wonder, where we understand that Drag Race is a cultural juggernaut, and we understand that it's going to have a place in history. But at the same time, we know all the girls, and it's sort of like, well, of course Bianca and Jinx are on Broadway. Of course Bob has a New York Times bestseller. Of course Trixie and Katya are on Netflix. And we don't realize that in 40 years' time, there's going to be a white-haired historian saying, and then Jinx was on Broadway. And all the people on social media will be like, I can't believe that's so crazy. That's so great. Like, we don't realize the historical importance as we're living through these times. So,
and James, hopefully this clip will still exist then for them to drop into the documentary.
But it's really fantastic. And then just very quickly, they had a 1983 Spanish documentary called The Blue Dresses, which I had never heard of. And it follows 8 trans sex workers and it's a documentary where they talk to the camera, very much in the same vein as Paris is Burning, but it was fascinating, and if you ever get a chance to see The Blue Dresses, it's something else. Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't called Dressed in Blue?
Dressed in Blue. Oh my God! Let's start the whole show over again.
Good. We got the 2 words. We can Google that. What was
Dressed in Blue?
Was this on Turner Classic Movies?
It was on Turner Classic Movies, yeah. Sometimes Turner at 3 a.m. has the most interesting stuff, and so I had DVR'd it.
And another reason I love Turner Classic Movies, because I always look to see what's playing overnight, because it's sometimes the best thing.
Yeah,
it's a fun thing.
That's when they do the really the avant-garde stuff and the obscure stuff. So yeah,
Paris is Burning, streaming on Tubi, and Dressed in Blue is available for rent.
There you go.
Number 5.
Number 5.
I have seen, I think, the best film I have seen all year. And it's only 18 minutes long.
I'm in.
And it stars someone, when it starts up, I'm like, who is this person? And this person is a buzz cut, kind of looked like a skinhead. Well, it's Timothée Chalamet, of course.
I know you're talking about.
What it appears that you are watching is a Zoom call, which we're all instantly totally familiar with, and all the little quirks and weirdnesses of Zoom calls and conference calls and meetings where people are sort of vaguely
hijacking it for their own agendas.
Yes, exactly. And this is a movie. Well, it's not a movie, is it?
I'm going to call it content.
It's standalone content is what it is.
I was hooked. I could not stop watching. And I thought it was so funny and brilliantly observed and sort of deadpan. But it's Timothée Chalamet is this ping pong champion who is jumping on a call with the film company, with A24, to talk about how they're going to promote the movie Marty Supreme, which, I mean,
is a real movie. Is a real movie.
It comes out on Christmas Day. Yes, it's coming out.
Well, first of all, I have to say, nothing would make me want to watch a movie about a ping pong champion that comes out on Christmas Day. I'm like, how are you ever going to sell that or get my ass to the theater? But about a couple of minutes in, I'm like, I'm going to go see this. It's a boring marketing meeting. He completely takes it over with just crazy, wackadoodle, immodest, self-centered, vainglorious.
We're going to create a color that people will associate with ping pongs, and we're going to put it on the Statue of Liberty. And it's sort of like,
he says, I think my creative director has been working on this for 6 months. And then there's a sort of clunky moment while screen sharing. I mean, we all know that screen sharing thing. And then there's this orange colored swatch, which is orange, because, and
Because Barbie has pink, we're gonna have orange. And
Yeah.
we've all been in those meetings where somebody you're like, what in the hell is he talking about? But because he's the star, you're like, well, yes, wait, that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Exactly. People don't know quite what to say, and they're careful not to betray the fact that they think it's ridiculous. But I actually then sort of have thought about it some more, probably overthought about it. But I was like, I do see some parallels because when you think of orange, you think of what's in the White House right now and that sort of orange skin, and there is a sort of weird similarity between the sheer bluster, the sheer narcissism, the sheer self-regard, the vanity, the bullying, the hectoring, and the incredible stupidity, but sort of just blundering, pushing through. I thought it was sort of, I don't know, a metaphor not just about him, but also about the whole sort of narcissistic sphere that we're living in. I mean, what did you guys think?
I thought it was a brilliant mockumentary, right? It was doing a little sort of Christopher Guest kind of thing, and doing it in the setting of a Zoom call and a marketing Zoom call. I don't know if it's inside baseball. I don't care because I'm inside baseball. It was really very effective and very funny. I can't say I watched the whole thing.
I kind of have to believe in my heart of hearts that Timothée Chalamet is a bit like that. I have a feeling I think when you get him in a meeting, he's probably crazy and because we know how much he wants that Oscar. We know how much he's in it to win it. And I think that this is probably cuts a little.
There seems to be some self-awareness though.
Yeah, he's such a brilliant actor. He's such a brilliant actor. And then of course you go down the rabbit hole, and then there's that very first video they dropped on his Instagram account. He's sitting in some sort of pen being bombarded by orange ping pong balls, and he's got a big orange ping pong ball on his head. It's sort of like The Residents. It's sort of like Squid Game. There's people in a field in black boiler suits with ping pong balls. I mean, it's bonkers. And to me, it's so good because the marketing is the film. The film is the market. It's like there's no difference. You can't say, oh, well, this is a marketing campaign. It's Tom. It's content.
And how the hell do you make a dent in people's attention span today? It's almost impossible. And they've reached you, Fenton. They've reached
at me and 10 billion other people, and it cost all of 25 cents. Anyway, the film itself is coming. Josh Safdie, who did Uncut Gems. I mean, it sounds like it's an amazing film too. You got Gwyneth Paltrow, Abel Ferrara, Fran Drescher. I mean, okay,
and they do say that he is a front runner for best actor. So watch out. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. The Drag Race experience is now open in Chicago. Snatch your tickets to the first ever immersive experience where you are the star of Drag Race. You walk into the workroom, you walk out on stage, and you can see yourself transformed by the miracle of technology, by the Dragulator. You can see, yes. Get your tickets at wowopposites+.com.
I have a question. This was the first year I'd heard this. You've heard of Throwback Thursday, you've heard of Black Friday, Bloody Sunday, Cyber Monday, and Travel Tuesday. Have you heard of Green Wednesday?
No.
Well, what is it? I'll tell you after the break.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom, James, and Blake.
Yes, and this was the first year I'd heard of Green Wednesday. Do you guys know what Green Wednesday is?
I gotta interject. I do know what Brown Friday is. And supposedly, the day after Thanksgiving, there's more plumbing problems than any other day of the year, and it's called Brown Friday.
I would have expected this from Fenton, but not you, Tom.
I didn't make it up.
Well, I'll have to add that to my list of days. Yeah. Green Wednesday. Does anyone want to take a guess?
Well, I guess it's probably the day that you switch off all your electricity and you switch off everything and you
carbon fuels. Yeah.
Different kind of green, guys. It's pot. Green Wednesday is an unofficial annual shopping holiday for the cannabis industry. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. People stock up and so you
can deal with your family.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's interesting on Friday.
Yeah, and then go to Browntown on Friday.
All right, we are counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow, and we've reached number 4.
Number 4.
If you haven't heard, I'm going to introduce you to the Oxford Dictionary Word of the Year. I will tell you what the word is, but first I want to talk about the 2 runner-ups, okay? Biohack.
What is
Defined as an attempt to improve or optimize one's physical or mental performance, health, or longevity using means like diet, exercise, drugs, or even technological devices. So they were showing everything online, and it's like, green juices and all those specialists that come on that tell you how to live longer, and this obsession with kind of living forever and not growing older. And so biohack. Okay, all right, okay. And then the other one is aura farming.
Sure. Yes, we're all aura farming this year. Of course, I know all about this.
What do you think aura farming means?
Well, aura farming is like when Batman stands on the gargoyle and he's aura farming because he looks so fucking hot, and it's when you just know that you're looking hot and you lean into it.
Pretty good. Our aura farming is a noun that is defined as the cultivation of an impressive, attractive, or charismatic persona or public image by behaving or presenting oneself in a way intended subtly to convey an air of confidence, coolness, or mystique. So it's basically everybody's Instagram account. You know what I'm saying? It's like being shot meditating. Like I'm meditating. Like, no, you're not. You're taking a picture. But the winner, this year's big one, and James, oh boy, this should be the name of the show if we change the show. It's called, the word of the year is rage bait.
Rage bait, yep. Rage engagement, sure.
Yes.
They know what they're doing on X right now, boy.
Every post. I noticed, like, on my sad Facebook where I'm way too political, these things all come from farms someplace, even the ones that I agree with. And whenever they say fucking in it, like, people are fucking dying. It's rage bait. It's just trying to, like, get you upset, to upset your relatives, all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to step away. Also, the secret sauce to the Wow Report, so everybody knows, is when we're having a slow week or in Fett and I don't feel like we've really researched our topic, just confront James in a way that's unfair and full, and we know he's gonna take the bait and he's gonna rage, and we're gonna have to talk as much, and we're gonna have must see.
How dare you, sir?
That is so true. Oh my God.
Reggie, want to just say that the algorithm that especially on X, that Elon Musk has tweaked the algorithm to give you only not things that you agree with, but things that you're going to disagree with. And that's rage baiting, and it's rage engagement. And they know that they're going to piss you off and you're going to respond.
I thought I was filtering out the hate and putting in the information, but I feel like it's all over, and I need to stop posting politically with rare, except
because they know how to engage you.
And I just posted everyone's doing their top 5 from their Apple or their Spotify.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I just posted the 5 top songs from 1980, which started with Captain Sneal. Number 3 was Olivia John Magic, and number 1 was Call Me by Blondie, which I don't know if there's a better group of songs than that.
What is your, if it's not, what is your, everyone's posting their age, their listening age, right?
I would say my listening age is 14, and that I've never really cultivated taste beyond being a 14-year-old teeny bopper. I know it's not
your age is 87 because you're eating gourmet and
they don't have that on Apple Music, and I use Apple Music, so
it's all right. You can aura later about it or
James, what's your age? Or do you do Spotify?
Do you do Spotify?
I don't do that. I don't truck with that.
Yeah, I don't do Spotify either.
James just listens to old 8 tracks in his garage.
But people have been shocked because it generally reveals that their listening age is sort of 80 or 90 or something, and people are outraged.
Somebody I follow was outraged by
I listen to a lot of 30s music, 1930s music, and 1920s ukulele music is my
You're one of those dead people Elon Musk was banging on about voting. All right, well, let's move on. Number 3.
Number 3.
Variety came up with the 100 best comedies of all time. Number 100 was Bridget Jones' Diary. Number 99 was Wayne's World. Number 98 is Pretty Woman. So you see, we're sort of all over the map here as opposed to like what is funny. And 93, Hairspray, the original, not the remake with John. 92, The Jerk. 89, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Number 82, The Awful Truth with Cary Grant and Irene Dunn. Tom,
Okay.
that's for you. 79, Rocky Horror. That's for you, Fenton. 78, Night at the Opera. 77, Late Blazing Saddles. Now, here's where it sort of gets interesting, because like Legally Blonde was number 70, and I think that should be higher. I think that's an all-time great. Airplane was number 62, and I think that should be in the top 10, don't you?
Well, of course.
Yeah. Number 61 is The Birdcage. Number 44 is Mrs. Doubtfire. 39, Blake, this is for you. Clueless. 39. It should be higher. Clueless should be number 1.
How dare they?
That's what I'm saying. 37 is The Princess Bride, which I think should be much higher than it is. Pink Flamingos is higher than Princess Bride. What metric is this? Caddyshack is higher than Bridesmaid. Borat,
No, Bridesmaids need to be number 1.
that's what I'm saying. Borat is ahead of Philadelphia Story, Tom. Like, how do you quantify those two things together? So now I'm going to get to number 10, 10 to 1.
Okay.
10 is Groundhog Day. 9 is Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
I'll agree with that. 8 is Fargo.
I never think of it as a comedy per se, even though it's full of comedy, but go ahead.
Number 7 is Duck Soup, 1933, the Marx Brothers.
Okay.
Number 6 is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I'll give
Okay.
it. Oh yeah. Number 5 is Waiting for Guffman. I don't know, but what do you think, Tom?
Best in Show is the better Christopher Guest show, movie, in my opinion.
I don't even think
Spinal
Best.
Tap?
I don't think Best in Show. Spinal Tap was like number 50. Best in Show, I don't think made it on. But Waiting for
I
Guffman.
like that genre and I like that director, so I'm not angry
You'll
about it.
allow it. Okay. Number 4 is The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin, where his speaking role is Hitler. So that I'll that
Never watched it the whole way through.
It is classic. Number 3 is Annie Hall. Now
Sure.
try it is, but try and get anyone to watch Annie Hall these days. You know what I'm saying?
I watched it not that long ago.
Number 2 is Some Like It Hot.
Excellent movie.
And number 1 is Naked Gun.
That I disagree with.
See, I would have thought Airplane is better than Naked Gun. I just
Airplane paved the way for Naked Gun to me.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that without Airplane. And I don't even know if that's I mean, it's pure comedy, and we are doing a movie right now called Stop That Train, which is totally from the school of that genre, and I love that genre. But it's I don't know. You know what? At least they're paying attention to comedy. Comedies always get pushed aside when it comes to award season. So I'm just glad we're talking about comedies because
and it is. I like the fact that they have Buster Keaton and the Marx Brothers in the same category as Borat and Annie Hall. I mean, it's just a big happy mix.
These lists are impossible. Ultimately, they're just to spark conversation like this because you can't really stack these things up.
No, you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway,
and maybe it's got something to do with the fact that Naked Gun just came. There's just a new Naked Gun that's in front of mind or something.
Yeah. I did watch the first one. The first one was better than the remake. No offense to the people who made the remake, but I rented it the night before with my sister, and we watched the original with Priscilla Presley and O.J. Simpson, and it's hilarious. It is a very funny, stupid movie.
So anyway, this is on Variety. It's online. You can check out Variety's 100 best comedies of all time, and then argue amongst yourselves.
Well, it might be a little rage bait for certain people.
There you go.
We have definitely entered that time of year, the lists,
yes.
Because number 2, Pantone have revealed their color of the year, Cloud Dancer, and I'm not even going to talk about it. Basically, it's white. They just didn't want to call it white for all sorts of reasons, probably. But instead, they're calling it Cloud Dancer. And of course, last year we had Mocha Mousse.
Which was baby poop brown was basically what it was.
Basically, right. So moving on, I saw something on Instagram, and it made me think of the Beige Age. It's yournextlevel.life is the Instagram account. And they was just sort of saying, have you noticed that generally the use of colors has become more and more muted in society, in interiors, for example? They are talking about how in the 70s, some of us can remember, that people decorated for joy and they felt fun and freedom and optimism.
In the 70s, everyone looked like your office.
Yes, exactly. Bright colors, bold. People are glad to be alive. Whereas today, they argue everyone's so stressed and tired and overloaded that we're also stressed out that our tolerance for bright color is reduced and we just can't cope with it. And therefore, gray and beige are very safe colors. Neutral tones in houses the house will sell faster and for more money. So I thought that was fantastic. And then there was
the other category where color has disappeared, cars.
Yes.
Cars used to be, we had an avocado green car in 72. We had
teal cars in the 90s. Remember the teal?
Yes. And sort of oranges, actually. Marty Supreme orange cars.
And we had like blue sparkly paint in our 77 Chevy.
That is interesting because I remember Fenton one time had a topic. We'll have to figure out when it was, but you talked about that new gray that all the cars have that very it's like an elephant gray or something.
Yes, a poster color gray, sort of gray mixed with
gray, maybe.
Yes,
Nardo gray.
Yes. But there's two other things I wanted to say about this. That one fascinating thing that the article said, I mean, it's on Instagram, it's hardly an article, but it's enough of an article, was that they think that our screens that we live in front of all the time has so much color and vibrancy and bombarding us with stuff that actually we need the room in sort of neutral colors to calm us down. And that the room becomes the background because it's all coming.
Isn't that interesting? Because originally we went online to escape reality, and now we need to escape whatever we're seeing online and get back to reality.
The rage bait, all the red in tooth and claw and anger and all that. But then another thing that struck me that literally it was a picture of a fruit bowl and everything in it was beige. And I sort of thought, oh, well, this is interesting. Is this more? And they were like, no. This was someone complaining about the semi-glutides, that it's not only killed their desire for food, it's killed their desire for everything. And that everything's just meh, numb, flat. And I just thought, oh, well, this then trend alert, this is the beige age. What do you think about that?
The age of beige.
The age of beige.
I like it. I hadn't thought about. I mean, I've noticed it, especially in cars. Because you look at the street now, nothing. But it's true. I am doing this, and it's like I'm being not forced, but like I want to rent out my place a little bit. And they're like, oh well, then it needs to be in the. She literally is like, everyone uses this chip, like this.
Right.
It's like it's. And it's
like,
if
I came over, I'd be slapping on sort of optical 70s prints on the walls and veneer paneling everywhere, and just.
I have a very funny upstairs bathroom that the roof is low and it angles, and the door is too small to get into it. And it used to drive me crazy, and now I'm obsessed with it because it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. And I was thinking maybe there I could just really go crazy and put a different kind of wallpaper, shiny. Fenton, I'm gonna hit you up, and you're gonna give me advice. I want to tell you.
Fenton, you have good taste. I like your taste. I like your place there and in Palm Springs.
Oh, thank you, Blake. That's so lovely. You can come again anytime.
So that's how you get an invitation. What have I been doing
You
wrong
too,
all the
sweetheart.
time?
You too.
That was rage bait, James. Don't take it. Rage bait.
Everyone could come over and kiss my wallpaper. Let's take one more break, and when we come back, the number one thing this week that made us go, wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom and Blake and James. We've been counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow. We've reached number one.
Number one.
There's a mysterious heartbeat pulsating from the interstellar object 3I Atlas as it nears Earth. And there was a big article in Science Weekly, or maybe it was the Daily Mail. I don't know, one or the other. Saying a mysterious interstellar object 3I Atlas has developed a strange heartbeat that's making it grow more brightly as it nears Earth in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now is when the Epstein files are supposed to come out. And I have a feeling that's probably the date that the aliens are going to come and destroy the planet anyway. A new telescope observations revealed streams of gas dust called jets blasting out in rhythmic bursts every 16.16 hours precisely, much like a steady heartbeat. Moreover, this pulsing makes the object's overall glow brighten and dim by 20 to 40% in a clean repeating cycle, which some have claimed makes the 3I Atlas not naturally occurring comet at all. So what is going on?
This is the first I've heard of this, and the thing that went to my mind just to reveal my insanity. Remember the Soul Train animated opening? Soul Train, and it was a train with like smoke coming out of it. That's what I imagine is coming toward Earth. What do you think?
I think it's more like, you remember Fenton, you remember this probably, the first episode, the pilot episode of Battlestar Galactica, the new Battlestar Galactica, where every 16 minutes or every 18 minutes, whatever, the Cylons were attacking the last remaining
leaping out at them, like zooming in.
No matter where they jumped, it was the same amount of time, and they were getting blasted every. So I have a feeling this is the AI Atlas is filled with Cylons.
Well, you know, I'm obsessed with the 3I Atlas thing, and I thought when it went behind the sun, it broke up. There were a lot of coverage saying it had broken into 3 pieces. And I don't know if that. I have no idea if that's what's true anymore. You can't look on Instagram and find out what's true. But the latest thing I saw is you posted this, James, to me and saying, let's talk about it today, was there's apparently another object called the R2 Swan discovered by a Ukrainian astronomer, Vladimir Bugonia.
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
And apparently they're saying we're in a pincer maneuver. That you got 3I on one side, R2 Swan on the other, and we're in the firing line of whatever it is.
Wow.
Like
I said, it all converges at the same time that Trump is planning on destroying the world anyway to stop us from seeing the Epstein files. So.
Well, I was going to say same time, same place next week, but
who knows? Who knows?
Thank you for listening. And in the meantime, in the remaining time, go out and do something that makes the world go wow.